Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're going to unravel a massive paradox sitting right at the heart of modern manufacturing. Imagine a state-of-the-art facility. We are talking major investments in automated material handling, mobile robots buzzing around the floors, and just this massive push toward digitalization. It's kind of like a high-performance sports car, right? Except it inexplicably keeps losing seconds on the track. Despite having absolutely top-tier infrastructure, there are still these unexplained bottlenecks. Efficiency just bleeds out of the system in ways the dashboards literally cannot pinpoint. So why does this happen? Well, that's exactly the mystery we're solving today. The mystery of the missing automation layer.
Okay, let's dive into this. It's a question that honestly frustrates plant managers globally. You've got a solid digital foundation. You've got AI infrastructure on standby or actively running. You've upgraded the machinery, the whole shebang. So why do you still face unpredictable delays? Why does a simple shift change sometimes throw off your cycle time entirely? Well, the answer isn't that the machines are failing. The answer is that the machines are only capturing a fraction of the reality on the factory floor. They log exactly what the equipment does, sure, but they're completely blind to what the actual humans are doing around that equipment.
And that brings us to our first absolutely crucial concept today. We define this missing layer as the undocumented gap of human expertise, the implicit workflows, and those hidden inefficiencies that absolutely no machine log or robot sensor can capture. Think of this layer as existing just out of sight. Now, to be clear, this is not about replacing your existing automation initiatives. Those are fantastic. They're necessary. This is about complementing them. It's about illuminating the dark spots on your factory floor where human intuition, quick fixes, and undocumented processes are actually what keep the lines running.
Which leads us directly to a related but honestly even more fascinating concept, the hidden factory. This is literally the unseen engine of your plant. We're talking about undocumented human workflows and informal shortcuts. It's tribal knowledge. I mean, we all know a Bob on the floor, right? You know, the guy who fixes the line with a very specific, totally undocumented tap of a wrench. That seasoned intuition is what actually governs your day-to-day operations. But because it isn't recorded anywhere, when Bob retires, that crucial know-how just walks right out the door.
Section 1. The solution. Spazio IT's multimodal edge engine.
And this brilliantly illustrates how we actually fix this gap. Imagine an all-seeing, all-hearing operational assistant. We aren't just looking at one single data stream here. It's completely multimodal. First, you have the SI listener capturing and actually understanding floor conversations even over the crazy roar of production lines. Then, the SI watcher provides video analysis to recognize physical activities, operational sequences, and downtime. And then the real magic happens in the multimodal fusion engine. It takes that audio, that video, and your traditional machine logs, and it synchronizes them all into one single cohesive timeline. Throw in a vector database indexing your standard operating procedures, and suddenly you can query your factory's exact reality instantly, just using natural language. It's a total game changer. Now, I know what you're thinking. If you're running a major facility, you hear cameras and microphones and immediately start sweating about security, right? Let me reassure you heavily right now. This entire system is 100% on-premise. Zero cloud dependency. Every single piece of sensitive operational data, every recorded conversation, every video frame, it never, ever leaves your plant. The AI processes everything securely right there on the factory floor using a dedicated edge node. You retain complete, absolute ownership. Section 2. Measurement over assumption. Let's contrast the old way of doing things with the new way. On the one hand, we have traditional consulting. Look, we've all endured it. A team of consultants marches in with their disruptive clipboards, pulling your absolute best people off the line for interviews, and ultimately delivering a report based on, well, assumed workflows and industry averages. It's kind of an archaic guessing game. But on the other side, we have the Spazio IT pilot. Because of that multimodal edge engine we just talked about, it deals entirely in captured reality. It relies on directly measured workflows through non-intrusive observation. It doesn't just guess what your operators are doing, it objectively maps the actual ground truth reality.
Moving on to Section 3, concrete deliverables of the assessment.
So what do you actually get? Well, this system doesn't just sit there and watch passively. It actively digitizes these undocumented workflows into 4 concrete deliverables. First up, map. You get to visualize the real operational flows, not just the theoretical ones sitting in a binder. Second, identify. You can pinpoint the exact hidden inefficiencies, redundancies, and invisible waiting times. Third, recover. You officially document those implicit operational shortcuts and that expert know-how before turnover takes them away forever. And finally, deliver. You receive an executive roadmap outlining exact intervention priorities, so you know exactly where you need to act.
Section 4. The impact. Measured KPI improvements.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the sheer scale of the percentage improvements. We aren't talking about marginal little gains here. By actually understanding the hidden factory, changeover and cycle times typically become 15 to 30% faster. Unplanned downtime sees a 20 to 40% reduction. Why? Because you finally see the human-machine interactions that are actually causing the stoppages. New operator onboarding speeds up by 30 to 50%, and standard operating procedure compliance jumps 15 to 30%, which obviously drastically reduces your audit risks.
Looking at the top end of those metrics, the time-saving potential is just undeniable. Look at that 50% reduction in operator onboarding time. Literally, let that sink in for a second. Think about how rapidly a new operator gets up to speed when the tribal knowledge of your best 30-year veteran is actually documented, searchable, and baked right into training, rather than just relying on shadows and whispers around the break room.
Section 5. The phased rollout process. So how does this actually happen? This phased investment roadmap takes just a matter of weeks, really. Step 1 is the Edge hardware kit setup, which establishes a perpetual on-site AI platform with zero recurring cloud fees. Next up comes customization. The AI is incredibly smart, but it needs to learn the specific realities of your factory, so it ingests your guidelines and actually learns your specific department's jargon. And finally, step 3 is the pilot assessment. Over a super quick 12 to 14-day period, the system conducts field collection on a single pilot department, and that culminates in a highly detailed executive report. I really want to emphasize this next point because I know it's usually the biggest fear for literally any plant manager. This implementation comes with a guarantee of zero production interruption. The setup is observational only. Plus, the operators are involved right from the very initial interviews. This means the optimization is done with them to make their jobs smoother rather than being just another disruption forced upon them from the top down. It's honestly a brilliant risk mitigation strategy.
Section 6. The cost of inaction. Hidden expenses.
Allowing undocumented inefficiencies to just remain hidden in the shadows creates a massive compounding operational drag. First, you have undetected waste. We're talking small redundancies happening every single hour of every single shift, multiplying day after day. Second, and perhaps most devastatingly, you have critical plant know-how lost permanently to technical turnover. Every single time an experienced worker leaves, a piece of your factory's efficiency literally dies with them. And finally, you suffer from inefficient, prolonged training processes because, let's face it, you are trying to teach new hires without the actual real-world blueprint of how the work gets done. So, I'll leave you with this. Think about your floor right now. Think about your absolute best operators. How much implicit expertise, the real knowledge that keeps your production running, is walking out of your factory doors today at the end of their shift? And more importantly, are you prepared for the day they don't walk back in? Capturing the missing automation layer isn't just about squeezing out some efficiency today. It's about securing your factory's survival for tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer.